What's up guys, Daniel here. In this video I'm going to be showing you a common mistake that you can make when designing or making a first-person character in 3D. So what is this mistake? This happened to me and I was looking for it for so long I had no idea what it was, but as you can see, my Zippo in my hand, it's kind of lagging when I'm rotating. So it's not very smooth, it's jittering. So what could be the cause of this? Let me just show you just by, let me go back to the code, removing some code. It's now completely smooth. There is completely no jitter at all. The bobbing is working perfectly and everything is fine. So what is the problem? Why did my item jitter in my hand? And if you're interested, this is all for a game I'm making called The Final Shift. It's a horror game where you play as a night janitor in a corporate building with a disturbing history. It has some plot twists. I think it turned out pretty well. I was going for that PS1 look. So if you're interested, you can wishlist the game. It will be soon out on Steam. So getting back to the video. What is the mistake? So let's first of all look at the first version where the item jittered in the player's hand. So what I was doing simply is I was looking at the unhandled input, so the input event, so for example mouse, keyboards, things like that, and I just check if it's a mouse event, then rotate the player. And here in the rotate look, I just do some math. I take this player from this GitHub page from Brackeys. It's basically for like a very simple player control, so I didn't have to start from scratch. It's under CC0 license, so you can also use it. And so this basically rotates. Let me just show you the player. It has a head and it rotates the head. And that's basically it. But what is the problem here? Let's take paint out here and let me just show you. The problem here is that, first of all, the player is moving and its movement logic is all handled in the physics process. Now, the physics process runs around 60 times per second. And this is like a fixed frame rate for it. So for example, the simple process runs as fast as it can. The physics is fixed to 60 times per second. Now, what about the let's just input. What about the mouse event? How frequently does this run? Well, we don't know. I mean, it could happen, during one frame. So let's look at it. If this is one frame over here, the physics process runs once. So this could be the physics. That's a very nice P over there. This is the physics. But the mouse event could happen multiple times. At any time, it's asynchronous. So the problem is that we're rotating the head all of these times, but we're only updating the player's movement once per frame. I'm still quite unsure about what's really the core issue, but it's related to these timing events. But what I think the problem is that the head movement and the player's movement are not in sync. So the player, for example, we rotate the head. Let me just show you the hierarchy here. We have the player and underneath the head and all of the things that are part of the head. So for example, the camera, the Zippo and things like that. And when we move the body of the player, this happens, once per frame. But anyway, 60 times per second. So, but in between, there might be a bunch of unhandled input events. So a bunch of times we might be moving the head around. And once the frame finishes and it gets to the next physics tick, it will have to kind of snap back the position of the head based on the player's position. Because the player is moved in the physics process, but the head is moved also like in between here in the unhandled input. So this produces this kind of jittering where the physics process is fighting the position and the rotation of the head. So one way to fix this is to make sure that the rotation of the head and also the movement of the body happens once every frame, or once in every physics frame. We update everything in this physics process. And the way I've done this is, let me just show you, is in the unhandled input. I don't directly call the rotate look function, but I accumulate the rotations where the player moves his mouse. So instead of, calling every time and rotating it, I accumulate these. So I don't rotate these, but I sum these up. And then I apply these rotations once in the physics process. Let me just show you how I've done this. All I've done is, here is the accumulation. This is a vector 2. And then, simply in the physics process, I check, okay, was there any change in movement? Have we accumulated anything? If yes, then we just call the rotate look. And that's basically it. I just pass the mouse delta as a parameter, and then we'll rotate based on how much the player moves its mouse between the frames. Now, let me just make it clear, I'm not sure if this is like the perfect solution. This is how it should be done. I mean, I fixed this and then it started working great. I mean, there wasn't that jitter now. There's definitely some other ways of doing this. I'm not sure about how else you could do this. I mean, if you know another way, you could tell me in the comments to make it even more smoother. But I just wanted to share this process because I just couldn't figure out what was the problem. And I wanted to share it so maybe it can help you skip that whole, digging for the, what is the problem here. Because it was pretty tricky to find. Because you would think that, I mean, there shouldn't be any problem. I update the rotation whenever there's a mouse movement, and the movement happens in the physics process. There shouldn't be any problem. Now, there might also be something with the way my player is structured, or the camera. I'm using phantom camera. There also might be something there. I'm not sure, but I'm just sharing it here. So if you also have this problem, you can fix it quickly. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I wanted to share in this video. Yet again, if you're interested in my game, it's out on Steam. It's called The Final Shift. You can wishlist it. It should be out soon. I mean, it's pretty much done. I'm still doing some advertisements and things like that. So you can wishlist it if you want to check it out. I think it turned out pretty great. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.